Growing up as a kid, I was super interested in film and photography, but it wasn't until I was 15 until I was fortunate enough to be able to purchase a camera and start experimenting just individually by myself with the settings and whatever was going on around me and just shooting some photos with my friends. But I was never fully satisfied with how the pictures had looked and always wondered at that point how people really created professional images and how they got them to look like that, and how the resolutions were high enough that they could fit on a magazine page and still look so sharp. And so I remember just going through a really frustrating phase of not really understanding how to take good photos. Nowadays, anybody can take a photo on their phone and, it's still high quality and it's still great, but you want to put it on a website, you want to put it on a magazine, it's not going to be sharp, it's not going to be professionally lit, there's not going to be shallow depth, all these technical aspects to it that kind of like sit behind the scenes on what a normal photo would look like. And so something I want to talk about today is the appreciation that photos don't get. Now there's a lot of people out there, don't get me wrong, that appreciate photos for like what they are, and they can see behind the scenes and they see all these little details within the photos. People like me, where I can just sit there and like in awe at photos for like a solid 15 minutes and pick apart everything about it. But not everybody can do that because not everybody's super interested in photography and educated. And I think what I want to talk about is what it takes to produce high quality professional photos is so much more than what people think. My personal experience just has come from totally at the bottom, not knowing anything that I've done, and just till recently being able to shoot for bigger companies like Red Bull and Thrasher Magazine, which have been super awesome privileges, and I've worked really hard to get there. So I think I still have so much longer to go, but coming from the bottom to the top of where I am at the moment, I just can provide some insight. There's so much process doing photos, and sometimes that's something that's super missed, is everything that led up to taking that photo. So you need to do a studio shoot, you need to contact this person, you need to have the idea, you need to bring them into the studio, you need to cast them, you need to dress them, you need to completely portray your idea in the studio. And some people think, he just wandered in and blah, 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 and they took the photo and this is it. But there's probably so many man hours and so many hours behind that are like completely missed. And especially nowadays with social media, you can scroll through Instagram and you can see a million really good photos because there's so many good photographers out there nowadays. And no one really pays attention to like what quality and what work went into it. I've also had personal experiences with people who think that you'll just shoot photos of them for free because you're younger and maybe you haven't been doing this your whole life, but the actual work and effort that I've put into it, I need to like get something back out of it as well besides just the joy of taking the photos. So essentially, I think everybody can just, pause for a second in this hyperactive reality that we are like living in with like constant Snapchats, Instagram, Facebook, and you can swipe through and click so fast and so easily that you kind of like miss the real point of it. And every once in a while, there's a breathtaking photo that people really stop at, but I think there's so much more that people are missing.